As of the 2022 school year, of the nearly 250,000 students enrolled in West Virginia schools, about 1,200 of them are enrolled in some form of public charter school like West Virginia Academy. That equates down to about 0.05%.
This is ChatGPT, one of the premier large language AI softwares, and what it's doing right now is generating a news story about AI usage in the workforce. The way it works is you type in a prompt, hit enter, and within just a couple of seconds, it'll shoot out the best possible answer using data from all across the internet.
There are over 2.5 million podcasts on the Apple podcasting platform. Of those 2.5 million, around 450,000 of which are active. That roughly boils down to about 18%.
Straight ahead on WVU News, there are over 1,200 West Virginia students enrolled in public charter schools. I'm Mason Kinsey, and I'll tell you what makes this one in Morgantown different from the rest. Public charter school West Virginia Academy was recently named a finalist for the Yost Prize. The prize recognizes some of the top charter schools in the country, and Academy Executive Director Heidi True says working with the Yost Foundation has created new opportunities for the school.
This whole year we get to work with the Yost Foundation, which is huge. Next week I'm actually going to Washington, D.C. We're meeting with legislators to talk about educational issues and how they can help our state specifically.
As a finalist, the school received $500,000 for school improvements. Even though the prize is private dollars, some West Virginia residents are concerned that charter schools receive too much funding from the state, despite making up a significantly small portion of students.
As of the 2022 school year, of the nearly 250,000 students enrolled in West Virginia schools, about 1,200 of them are enrolled in some form of public charter school like West Virginia Academy. That equates down to about 0.05%.
But some of West Virginia Academy's faculty members would argue that that small class size should instead be looked at as a positive.
Our scholars that start here in pre-K, you know, if they go all the way up to high school, I mean, we're able to really form those really good bonds and be a team, because that's what education is. We all have to work together because these students are our future.
West Virginia Academy leaders plan to use the funding from the Yost Prize to construct a new campus for their students. Mason Kinsey, WVU News, Morgantown. Anissa Gallo is an upcoming senior at WVU who is hoping to get a job in the journalism industry after graduation.
It always changes depending on the day and what kind of mood I'm in, but I'm definitely going towards the journalism market.
But over the past few months, advances in AI technology that allow computers to generate news stories has become a concern.
Journalism is a genuine art, and using a computer to generate those stories and those feelings that you get reading something that a journalist wrote, it won't be there anymore.
A recent survey of working journalists found that 46% are very or somewhat concerned that AI will replace their jobs.
This is ChatGPT, one of the premier large language AI softwares, and what it's doing right now is generating a news story about AI usage in the workforce. The way it works is you type in a prompt, hit enter, and within just a couple of seconds, it'll shoot out the best possible answer using data from all across the internet.
Career counselor Ashley Lesnick says while many college students fear for what the future of AI may hold, WVU is encouraging its future graduates to learn how to embrace it.
But what we can do now is really help to prep and understand how can you teach yourself little aspects of this to help you stay relevant.
Lesnick says many students' concerns come from a fear of the unknown. A recent study from the Pew Research Center found only 3 in 10 U.S. adults could effectively describe what AI is and how it can be used.
Now we can spend more time with our clients. We can spend more time building relationships that matter. That's where we can now use the AI.
While a considerable number of states are currently looking into regulating AI use in the workforce, there are still no federal laws to regulate it. Mason Kinsey, WVU News, Morgantown.
When people think of how they consume media, most people's minds normally go straight to TV and video. But recently, the podcasting industry has become a media juggernaut. With the industry set to hit 100 million domestic listeners by next year, the podcasting world can seem overwhelming. But West Virginia University is offering students opportunities all over campus to learn how to develop podcasts of their own. Professor Emily Corio offers a class that teaches some of the basics of podcast development.
Students in my podcasting class learn audio recording and editing, so that can be applied in different ways. across our industry. They also learn about interviewing, writing, and delivery.
Learning the basics of podcast development is the first step to creating a successful platform. And while the industry seems intimidating, consistency is the key to success.
There are over 2.5 million podcasts on the Apple podcasting platform. Of those 2.5 million, around 450,000 of which are active. That roughly boils down to about 18%.
While the podcasting world is very much still growing, WVU Student Media is offering students the chance to gain some experience with building their own platforms. Student Media is doing this by giving students an opportunity to develop their own podcast right here in Morgantown. Podcasts like Max Clark's, who explains the appeal of listening to student-run podcasts.
The fact that we're just people, the fact that we're, heck, still students or young means we've got both a lot to learn and we have experienced a ton.
Although the podcasting industry is still relatively new, expected to become a staple in the modern media world.
Coming up on WVU News, I'm Mason Kinsey, and I'll tell you how WVU is preparing its students for one of the media world's fastest growing trends. I'm Mason Kinsey, and I'm on set of one of student media's fastest growing platforms. WVU News starts now. Feels like these days, everybody's got a podcast, and WVU students are no exception. I'm Mason Kinsey, and I'll tell you about it more straight ahead on WVU News.